Hello and welcome, my friends. So a few months ago, about half a year ago, I did an unboxing and installation video of this SSD cover for PS5 from the company called GRAUGEAR. And I guess they saw my video and they liked it and they were impressed. I don't know why anyone would, but who am I to question it? So they reached out and they asked if I'll be interested in taking a look at a couple of their other products, and I of course said sure, why not. And they sent me this heat pipe cooler to check out. So this was the original. This I bought with my own money, and this is something that GRAUGEAR sent me. I got in the mail just a few days ago to, I guess, review and give my opinion on it. Now, this is why I put the logo there. Technically, this video is sponsored at this point because GRAUGEAR did send me this product for free, and then of course it's mine to keep. I just have to do a review and give my honest opinion on it. Now, they didn't provide any kind of directions or talking points or anything they wanted me to say about it. They just sent me a product and left it at that. So that's the arrangement. There are a couple other things they sent me too. I'm gonna make a separate video on that. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and check it out in just a moment. So it's been almost 6 months, and honestly, after I installed it into our PlayStation, I just sort of completely forgot about it. We didn't have any overheating problems at all, so I guess it's been serving us just fine. But it was interesting now with this new one coming in, now that I had to take it apart to see how it actually will look like. I had to remove this one, of course, and an SSD that was in there. So I was interested to see if there was any dust accumulated in that SSD bay, because that was kind of a bit of a worry with this open holes here, if it'll allow dust to get in there versus like PlayStation original cover that is completely solid. And I'm happy to report that there is none. As you can see here, it looks alright, pretty pristine. The only part where I noticed some kind of dust accumulation is right here on SSD itself, on just one side, and I left it there on purpose. I didn't wipe it just to demonstrate. So that's it. So that's the only place. I guess, you know, maybe my house is just not as dusty as it could be. With that said, let's compare it with a little bit beefier boy here, and I'll tell you what the differences are other than just the look and price, because there is some difference. Alright, so in the box we just have a couple of standard papers. And the unit itself, a couple of thermal pads, some installation hardware, little screwdriver, pretty much the same stuff that comes with the cheaper version here, except for the heatsink for your SSD, which I haven't used because my SSD already has a heatsink built in. So I'm gonna put this aside. Just take a look at the actual product. Okay, so that's actually pretty nice. It's heavy. It's heavier than I expected. So this is the little one. Right now, on top of my head, I don't remember the prices, and I don't recall what the price of this is. So we pause this just for one moment. So I'll put the price on the screen. So that's the difference in price between the two. Now here you get, you know, pretty thin kind of unit that gets the job done just fine. It looks pretty good too, I think. With this thing, for just, you know, this little bit more money, you get a much beefier product, and it actually has a heat pipe inside. The whole heatsink is built in, and this is very solid aluminum, I'm guessing. GRAUGEAR branding there. Some holes here, but looks like these holes are going to be on the side just to assist with some heat dissipation. Maybe just like this one hole will open into the actual drive bay a little bit. Everything else is actually going to be sealed, but unlike the way this works, when it just allows heat to escape from your SSD inside the bay, it just allows us to escape through those holes, and then the fans blow the air across it, and that's how the cooling happens. This part is the actual heatsink, so it will actually not work with this particular SSD here, unless I want to remove the heatsink and void the warranty on it. This one is meant to be used with M.2 SSDs without the heatsink, so you use this heatsink instead, and that's why it doesn't really need all this ventilation, because the heat will travel through the part and it will dissipate from the top here, and then of course these grooves will allow more air to pass and will allow for better cooling. Let's go see what it looks like on the PlayStation. Here we go. So like I said, the drive I was using here originally, the Samsung one, already has a heatsink, so it won't work with this. So I installed a different drive just for demonstration purposes to see how it fits and how it looks like once it's there. Now installation is very simple, just like it is with the outer cover. You'll just go in there, might as well just do it. So you have to just find the place where it slides in. There it is, a little bit hard to do with one hand, and just sort of lower it in place. And if it's aligned correctly, then you just put your original screwdriver that comes with PlayStation and screw it in. That's basically it. I actually like it. Look how smooth it looks here. That's very nice. I have a dilemma on my hand now, or my hands rather. Should I use this? Should I use another SSD in here? Should I take that Samsung SSD and remove the heatsink? I don't know, I kinda wanna use this thing, because now that I have it, I feel like that's the way to go, but I can't decide right now. Alright, back at my desk now. So, there it is. It looks real sweet. I'm sure it'll work just as good as this did, if not better. The funny thing about PlayStation, unlike your PC, there's no easy way to measure your SSD temperature that I know of. And I actually don't see a lot of point in it anyway. As long as it works, you can play for long periods of time and there's no overheating issues or anything, then you know it does the job. So this one does the job. I have no reasons to suspect that this one won't. So in that sense, I don't think anyone should be worried about that in any way. The only thing that it really comes down to is the price. This looks real nice. This actually feels like really high quality product here. Now it is a little bit more expensive than just the cover here. If you have an SSD with the heatsink already built in, this one won't work with it unless you remove the heatsink, and you don't really need it. So I've tested this, obviously, I've used it for almost 6 months. I had no issues whatsoever. So I think I'm gonna stick with this for now, with this setup. I'm just gonna hold on to this guy. We might be buying another PlayStation soon, so that'll be perfect for that. You know, I'm still thinking about it, but if we do, I'll use it for that. Or maybe I'll end up buying another SSD at some point. I have a few of them laying around. I get those quite frequently if they're good deals or have some reward points at Samsung or at Best Buy. Another M.2 SSD is one of the things I go for. So I might end up upgrading to a higher capacity. This is 2 terabytes. Maybe I'll go for 4 terabytes for PlayStation, because we do like hoard the games on there. And if that's the case, I'll just get one without a heatsink and I'll use it with this part. There it is. Not much else to say, guys. Really good product. Again, GRAUGEAR didn't ask me to say anything nice about it. They just sent it to me, but here I have really nothing to complain about. I can definitely recommend it, so check it out.